Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Friday, the 5th of August. But first, a quick recap on Thursday's performance. Well, the first one won at 9 to 1 or 10 to 1, depending on what time you put the bet on. That was System. I've backed that a couple of times, but I'm actually showing profit on the horse. The second selection should have won. It was Persuasion, going very well. Had to be switched to the near side with a third on to go. It was flying at the finish, and I think it lost out by a neck, half a length, somewhere around there. The third selection, you might have seen the betting, 150 to 1. That doesn't tell the full story. This horse, they were paying out the first five scar that were. It must have been 2 lengths off of fifth place. Never got a run. I don't know if you've seen it, but you need to watch it. What was it? Cuban King, Cuban Breeze. And then the fourth horse, yeah, Concierge. Well, that same again with this horse. It was switched to the near side. Nicola Corey was going okay. If I'm being honest, it never looked like winning, but in the end, it did look. It was pushed on from a long way out, but it wasn't really losing too much ground. It was like I didn't really think it was going to come in the first five at any point, but then it wasn't really losing too much ground. I think that one came seventh or eighth, only beating a couple of lengths from fifth place. Well, that pound each way kilometre would have been very tasty next. I think it worked out that the bet would have been £310 just for the accumulator, which was like a horse that was 50s, 22s, 8s and 10s, I think it were. So that would have been a cracking return, but it didn't happen. So in the end, there was actually a slightly losing day, depending how you staked. So I'm going to get into Friday's horses. I've gone with the same stake, 10 pence each way lucky, 15 and a pound each way accumulator. So let's get into it. The first selection, now I'm pulling my hair out about. In fact, it isn't the first selection in time order, so it was the first one I put in the bet slip. But so it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, and a pound each way accumulator on the same horses. So the first selection is Evasive Power at 17 to 2 in the 220 at Brighton, paying 4 places instead of 4. A horse that's running well. I think it's overpriced. It could win, but I think it's got a cracking chance of being placed at least. It's not one of these things where I think it's nailed on to win, but I do think paying first four. It should be close to close to the placings. It ran on soft ground two outings ago, and then it ran. Can't remember where it ran. It ran on soft ground. Basically, it's been run over a trip too short. It will relish this 6 furlong trip at Brighton. It's never run at Brighton before, but Robin Brisland, he knows what the course like. He's had plenty of winners at Brighton, and I think it's due a good run. Charlie Bennett takes a ride. So the second selection is Dandy's Angel, and this is the one that I'm pulling my hair about. But I think the trainer must be the same. It's 11 to 2 in the 7 minutes past 5 race at Haydock. I bet this horse a couple of days ago at Ponty. It was given an awful ride. It was sat last, going well. The leader and the horse who comes second got first run on it. Literally, it had 8 or 10 lengths to find with 2 furlong to go. It had no chance at Pontefract. Well, I do like the jockey Sarah Bowen in this race because it's a female jockey handicap. I backed her a couple of times when she's had winners, but she's also let me down quite a few times. She's one of these riders that's a little bit quiet. She's a decent jockey, but she's more like about rhythm than more than anything else. So I think this Dandy's Angel, I think it's ready for winning, and I think 11 to 2, decent price. There are 8 runners. It could go down to 7, which would be first 2, but I still fancy its chances to be the first 2. If I'm being honest, it probably is my best chance of a winner. So the third selection is Bateman's Bay at 100 to 30 in the 17 minutes past 6 race at Haydock. The previous horse I've just mentioned about the best bet of a winner, best chance of a winner. They're probably about equal, this Bateman's Bay and Dandy's Angel. I think they've both got cracking chances. It all depends in this race what the Gosden horse is. I think this horse will appreciate the softer ground. I think it's the dam that I think it's French bred, the dam, and it did run very well on very soft and also heavy ground. So yeah, that's the third selection. And finally, the fourth selection is Future Times at 40-1 in the 652 at Haydock. Well, the Johnson horse, in fact, sorry, just give me 1 second, I shall click on it. This horse was only beaten 3 lengths by the Johnson horse and also Paul Roger. Paul Roger came second, Venetian came third, and then Future Times came fifth. Literally, it was beaten 3 lengths. I do think it will appreciate the slower ground. I do think it's improving quite quickly. There's no way this should be 40-1 outside of a lot. Maybe it won't come in the first 3, but it was beaten 3 lengths by a today's 5-2 favourite and today's 7-2 third favourite. And I'm thinking, there's no way it should be 40s. I don't know if they know something I don't. They probably know plenty I don't. But there's no way it should be 40s. So I won't be having a single each way, but it might be worth just having a small single each way on it. But the choice is yours. Obviously, it's always a choice. It's always your choice what you decide to do with the bets. But these are 4 horses that I think have got cracking chances. The second and third horse, I think, have got decent chances of winning. The first selection, I think, has got a cracking chance for a place. And the fourth and final selection, the big price of 40-1, could sneak into a place at a very tasty price. So they're the bets. It's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, and a pound each way accumulator. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.